are back. Another week, another dollar. We are back. This is my mother, Sharon the Tuck, and Wake Up with Will, Mom Edition. I'm Will. Wake up with me. It's a beautiful morning. I hope everybody's having a great day getting started because, it's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Wednesday,
Amen.
Mom. Amen.
I feel like singing and dancing.
Yeah, we're, a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Do we really?
Oh, of course, Mom. Big weekend in the sports world, We got the Brewers. We went to our final Brewer game of the year.
Yes, we did.
Which
yes,
they
we did.
won.
Awesome.
Which they won, which is always great when they win. I went 3-1 at Brewer games going to this year. Mom went 2-1. Always a blast to have over a 500 record.
It's always all about that's over 500. I like that.
Yeah.
I have over a 500 record.
Mom ended up buying very, 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 very crappy seats, but good thing we moved and we tricked the seat lady. She even gave us better seats.
I totally thought she was going to yell at us. I'm like, this place, there's literally nobody in this section. So, that's the first time ever. I've been going to games since, oh my gosh, so over 30 years, obviously.
Yeah, you're old.
I don't feel like I could be that old. And I have never gotten like the wave to come on down. It was like the Price is Right walk. It was awesome. But the $6 seat doesn't matter. It was $6. Although those were the worst seats. I was cleaning up my mouth. I was told today by your Aunt Ree that I swear too much, even though I barely at all on here.
God bless.
But she said that, so I'm being conscious of it. But those seats were the worst. They were horrible. We couldn't even see the scoreboard. We couldn't even see Bernie. Yeah, it was really bad.
It was bad, but it was still fun. We had a great time.
Oh, we had an awesome time. And we didn't even really, we did a total Polish tailgating because all we did is sit in the back of the car.
We did the Wisconsin tailgate. We just drank.
No, Wisconsin. Yeah, I was going to say, well, Wisconsin tailgating really is about.
We did the baby tailgate. Yeah, we did the baby tailgate. We did the drinking.
Baby.
The baby tailgate. We did the drinking.
Let's call it a mini, not a baby. Let's do a mini tailgate.
A mini tailgate, which just incorporates drinking, which we did successfully. We
were successful at it.
But I would say like the Brewers clinching the NL Central isn't even the biggest thing that happened in Wisconsin this weekend, and this is where we're going to start. The Ryder Cup.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Karen Rodgers, and I was just going to lose my mind.
No, we'll get into
the Ryder Cup. That was phenomenal. Now, I hope there were a lot of people I know that went there, and I'm hoping everybody had an awesome time. I wish I would have gone now.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to start the show today is with the Ryder Cup, because obviously the Ryder Cup is a different golf atmosphere than any other tournament. There's more hollering, there's more cheering, there's more hoorah kind of.
I didn't know that.
I mean, for heaven's sakes, Justin Thomas is shotgunning a beer before he tees off on hole number one. You'll never see that at any other.
I didn't even know that was even like a thing. Like shotgunning the beer, obviously I did, but in golf, like that whole.
So that's where I wanted to start this discussion, and I wanted to ask this question with you: Is golf better the traditional way? If everybody's quiet and they respect the game because there's a respectful, you get the golf clap, or is it more entertaining and better for the game when people are cheering and rowdy and having a good time?
So you mean either do it traditional or the Happy Gilmore way?
You do it traditional or you do it like the Ryder Cup, because.
Well, and here's the thing. So I had no idea the Ryder Cup was like that, which is part of the reason why I wasn't like, hey, let's go to the Ryder Cup in Kohler, because I'd love to go to a PGA golf event. I've been to 2 of them. And I personally, I think it's neat to have their tradition, like it's a gentleman's sport, right?
Yeah, it's a gentleman's game.
It's nice because, you're always in sport, me, I'm always waiting. Like I get that tenseness of like, oh, I don't want people to fight or yell or anything. And so I like it because it's a gentleman's sport. And even when people get drunk, they're still polite. I did not know the Ryder Cup was like that. So part of me, I don't know if I want golf to turn into a trailer party. I don't know, Will. I got to think about this. Shotgunning a beer before. And I think it's funny when they have a good time, though. I like it when they have a good time. I suppose they should. I suppose Jambo or who's that guy?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah. He can't tell people stop walking. Stop walking. He can't yell at anyone. Be quiet. Was he there?
Yeah, of course he was.
Oh,
Team
not
USA.
see. He's not very fun. So I wouldn't have wanted to go. I watched him try to have fun with Karen Rogers and Tommy Boy.
You can't call him Karen anymore. He's
Totally
playing too well
can.
to be
He's,
Karen.
he's more.
He's
He needs to be at 500 in wins before I change him back over. Anyways, back to golf. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a fun to do. I wish I would have watched it. I mean, you talked about shotgunning the beer. The the times we watched it, it wasn't really that fun. Like it wasn't funny. It was like golf, which is good.
yeah. And I think there's definitely parts of it when there's like golf. I think just like when you get to, like the first tees box with everybody sitting around in the stadium
Mhm.
seating, like you get that fan atmosphere because people get announced, they have walk up music. Like it's definitely
That's cool.
like it's definitely a little bit different. And how I feel about it is, honestly,
Dave and Buster's.
yeah, sponsored by Dave and Buster's. Just kidding. We're not. They don't pay me anything. I wish they'd
Uh-uh.
give us some money. We'd sponsor. We'd be like, yeah, Dave and Buster's.
I want that big Connect Four board. Okay, go
But
ahead.
what I want to say is there's things I like about it and there's things I don't. Obviously,
Mhm.
golf as a sport, the Ryder Cup kind of atmosphere would make golf so much more of a sport in this country and get people to watch. If you're telling somebody that they can go have it, they can go have a chant and go have fun, like
Mhm.
you have
I
to.
don't agree.
So, but mom, if you could sit on the couch on a Sunday afternoon and watch people chant and shotgun beers before they go play golf, that's literally the way like people do my age. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So we want more hoodlums at the golf events. Is
but
that
that's
what
what
you're
I'm saying.
saying?
I'm saying
More cut off jeans and
it would
torn t-shirts? I don't
golf
know.
golf can be very boring to watch if you don't understand the game. But if now you're watching
Yeah.
like let's see what these players do. Let's
Yeah,
see what
you're
how much
right.
fun. Like, if you just get that crowd, it's
Because
the
I
same
used to
thing.
put
It's the
golf at
same
the
with
same level as tennis.
it's the same thing with baseball. Like baseball is boring to watch on TV, but people will sit and watch big events. They watch the Field of Dreams
Yeah.
game, which has crowd
Well,
atmosphere.
here's
Well, no, let me
yeah.
finish. Let me finish. They'll watch the All-Star game. They'll watch big games, and they'll watch the playoffs
Mm.
because the crowd atmosphere is just 10 times different than any other game.
I still don't I don't think I agree with
But I don't agree with golf having every event like this. I think it's fun to have, the Ryder Cup's kind of special because it's like this. I think there's still a respect for the game. Like
fair. It,
there's just the respect. Like I think you can go have a fun time, but like I don't I play golf. I hate when people talk my swing. I hate when people like
well, it
if
throws you off.
it just like you couldn't go to Augusta and start hooting and hollering and cheering and shocking. Like there's
Right.
an etiquette, and that's where I think golf sometimes does it because they have these fun events like the Ryder Cup and stuff, where when it's more of
Mhm.
a team event instead of individuals, you can have that kind of fun
Okay.
atmosphere compared to people.
Yeah, see, now they'll start like golf tailgating. That would be funny. Now they could do that. Why don't they do like golf tailgating beforehand? Then you go in and you all have to be in line and etiquette. There's just something nostalgic about it. That's what I think. Like, so for all the other sports you're talking about, there's what goes on before them or during them. That's part of like the atmosphere. That's part of the sport, like the nostalgia that go with the sport. Baseball games, got to do tailgating, got to be cheering. I mean, it's rowdy. You're hooting and hollering. I think if you ever didn't we go to a baseball game once last year? It was like the quietest game. Like everybody was just sitting there. It was like you're in church.
I think
I
COVID
forget which
was.
one it
I
was.
think it was the COVID game was the quietest
The
game.
COVID game, maybe because nobody was there. We had like 20 seats between us.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
because there was a lot
but
of
it
people
was
there.
well, they had all the fake fans in the speakers.
Yeah.
But I just think, and like football, there's the nostalgia that goes along with football and all of the fun games that you play before football in the parking lot. I mean, so I think with golf, it's kind of I'm going to compare church. So Catholic Church, what do they do? Like growing up, you went and you had this like fundamental like boop, 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 boop. But it's part of the nostalgia. I know nobody liked it. We don't go anymore. But
God
then they
bless.
tried to make it all like they tried to like update it, and all of a sudden everybody's singing amen in the wrong key and off beat, and they're swinging their arms, and I'm like, what in the heck is going on? You got all of I'm like, people, you tried to introduce something and you took away the nostalgia part of like, I mean, everything needs to evolve, but there's certain things that shouldn't. There's certain things that you want to go back. Augusta, you talk about. Augusta, I would never, ever at Augusta want to hear hooting and hollering. I mean, I want people to be nice and polite and have a good time, but I don't think I want people running around in cut off jeans and, sleeveless shirts, baseball caps on backwards. I don't know. There's just something about it. There's that respect. So there's my 2 cents. No. I think I'd have to experience to have I'm sure it's a ton of fun. I'm totally sure of it, but no, I'm more of a nostalgic person.
I think it draws a different crowd, and that's good for the game of golf. It brings, because out of those rowdy fans, you're gonna get a couple that are like, golf's actually fun to watch.
Right.
The game of golf, like, this is so cool. These guys are hitting 250 yards.
Yeah, but those are the morons that get in front of you on the golf course when you're trying to golf, and then you had to wait while they chip and worm burn their ball across the fairway.
I didn't know that. Mom, that was you. Let's relax.
No way.
Oh,
you should golf on Sunday.
I just pick up the ball.
I kick it.
I kick it.
I do some kick hits. That's okay. The foot wedge work. The arm. Dad told me this past Sunday when we golfed, I threw it because I picked it up out of the schmuck. And so I throw it into the fairway to keep going. And he's like, you throw like such a girl. I said, well, wouldn't you be upset if you were married to a man? I'm like, I am a girl. I'm supposed to throw like a girl. Like, that's not an insult. I mean, tell me I throw like a gorilla, I might be mad at you, but throw like a girl. Okay.
But
it was funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we're kind of on the same page with the golf stuff. It's
about nostalgic.
It's fun and it's exciting for a couple events, but it can't be. There's no way it could be like that at all time.
No, but they should have more than just the Ryder Cup. I mean, I think that they should have a couple events. Like, why not do 3 of them a year? Because you're absolutely right. Bring that draw in. Bring that younger group that wants to learn to play and is like, oh, this isn't like, I always thought golf was like the stick up your butt sport. You'd kind of walk around and
just
fun to do that. The first times that I went to the thing, I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's dressed to the nines and I'm like, oh, and then you don't talk. I remember then that was a hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have signs. Yeah. Like, they yell at you. You couldn't have your phone. I mean, the first one I ever went to, you couldn't even have your phone. Like, if you had your phone, you were going to get thrown out.
No flash photography, none of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no flash photography.
But I said, so I think we're on the same page. I want to jump to a new segment I created just this morning. Yeah, and that's
Can I explain my background?
Oh yeah.
I feel like people need to know I'm in Tyler's room.
For our YouTube.
For our YouTubers, for our Spotify people, should I describe it? And just for your people that can't see it, I'm in a beige and red room. Smells like a boy. Not actually, it doesn't smell that bad. Tyler keeps his room really clean. It's part of his OCD that I love about him. So yeah, I got kicked in here because Dad's working downstairs. I just got done working in the living room, and we're watching Practical Jokers out there, and it's commotion, so I had to hide.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's always good to change the scenery up,
It should be like, where in the world is Sharon? Like, where's Waldo? Where's Sharon?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes for you. But we want to
my Dave and Buster's cup.
You move around that house for the show more than some NFL coaches, but some NFL coaches might be on the hot seat. And that's
get them out of here.
The segment we're going to. Is the seat hot or not?
Hot or not? Okay, do I get to guess?
Is the seat hot or not? I'm gonna give some coaches in the NFL, and I want to hear if you think that they are on the hot seat of getting fired, or if you think they're safe. So,
oh boy, I got it. Okay,
and I'll give you some things. So we're gonna start with the New York Giants head coach Joe Judge. He's been the coach for 2 years. He's got a 6-13 overall record as a head coach with the Giants, and he's once again 0-3 this year. Would you say that he's on the hot seat?
Doesn't he have a new quarterback this year too?
No.
Or is that guy 2 years?
He has had Daniel Jones this whole time there.
Where's the coach from originally? Like, where did he come from?
He was one of Belichick's prodigies.
Really?
Yes, if I'm correct.
Was he the offensive lineman guy? I think that's who that was. Um, Gosh, how long has he been there?
Uh, uh 2 years.
I think they give him another year. So I say no. I think you can have an 0-3 season. I think you have to then watch your film and figure out what in the world's not meshing. That's just for you, Ree. Yeah, so you have to, 6-13 overall, though, is what he's been. Don't they play 16 games a season?
Yeah, that's
Oh, wait,
19.
never mind. I'm
That's
doing the math. Never
that's
mind. Sorry.
that's 19 games. He's played 3 games this season.
Okay, thanks. Um, yeah, I think he's safe for 1 year, but that's it. Like his wife should start looking at real estate in a warmer climate. And
Interesting.
he'll be he'll be going back to college, or he'll be going to college ball. He won't be going. Get Mike McCarthy out of there. He's a loser. Okay. I don't like him.
That's it. That's interesting because I'm on the
Okay.
totally opposite page than you are.
You say get him out? He's on the hot seat?
I think his seat is blazing now. He hasn't done anything.
Really?
Dude.
Yeah, but it's not him. Everybody blames the coaches. You have to have players. It's like blaming the teachers for kids at school. You blame the teachers like, well, my kid's not learning it. All these, it's not the teacher's fault. What's your kid doing? Are they following the lessons?
You're so wrong. You are so wrong right now. So wrong. The players, yes, play the plays, but who calls the plays is the problem. The head coach. Who's in charge of how those players practice? The head coach. Who's in charge of coming up with the game plans to execute to win games?
Wait, don't tell me. The head coach.
And so he has not shown he has done that. The Giants have been terrible. I mean, terrible. They
were bad. They've always been bad, though.
But I mean,
Eli won a Super Bowl. That was luck.
2 Super Bowls. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ.
Matter. See, it doesn't even matter. It was so lucky. I don't even count the second one.
He beat Tommy Boy twice.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But I think Joe Judge is
You think he's out?
Okay. I think I would not be surprised if he's fired within the next 6 games.
Oh, well, that's halfway through the season. Like, that's not really getting him out of here.
Okay.
I'm saying
by week 8. By week 8.
And then who would they come in and coach?
Probably the Jason. They'll just find an interim, so they'll find one of the coordinators. So I'm guessing it'd be like Jason Garrett.
Okay, that means nothing to me, but okay. All right. So are you marking this? So you say out, you say high, I say not.
Yeah, you say you say you give him another year. I say his butt warmer's on 5. He's 5 out of 5. He's definitely toasty. Okay, the next guy, Urban Meyer.
Some preparation H for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Urban Meyer. Who does he even coach?
He coaches Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, kitty cats.
This is his.
Those are the old lady kitty cats.
Okay. Let me explain here before you keep talking. He is 0-3 in his first year in the NFL coaching, and the big thing is he has not really figured out the NFL coaching part. He was a college coach. He won national champions. He won a national championship at Florida and won a national championship at Ohio State.
Okay.
But do you think with him being 0-3 starting, Jacksonville looks terrible. They haven't been even close to anything.
Jacksonville's always looked terrible. I forget they're even a football team.
But do you think the seat's getting warm even though it's in his
it's his first year. It's his first year. I think he's got
Sunshine Trevor Lawrence.
Contract for.
He's got Sunshine Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, but that's Sally. He can't. No way. He's not. He did really well in college. He will not do well in the NFL. I do not think he will. I think the NFL, I said it a couple weeks ago, I think the NFL is a little bit too much for him. And that happens to guys as they come out of college. They're outstanding football players in college. And rightfully so. But the NFL, whether it's nerves or psychology or athleticism, they don't make it. They just don't. I don't think he'll make it. I hope he proves me wrong. He'll prove me wrong, but because I don't like to see anyone fail. Oh, I got hair in my mouth, but I think that coach gets he's got a new quarterback. He's new to it. Of course, he's not going to figure out the NFL. but before the first 3 games. I mean, he had all summer, but that's not the same. I say he's safe for another year, 2 years. I give him 2.
And yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing with Urban Meyer down in Jacksonville is how different the college game is compared to the NFL game in the coaching rank. Like, being Nick Saban, who is arguably the greatest college football coach of all time, couldn't even really coach that well in the NFL. It's just such a different coaching game. And I think that's what Urban Meyer is struggling with. So I agree. He's not really on the hot seat of getting fired.
What do you think?
I do think he will only be there for this year.
So what do you think makes it such a different game? Because Aunt Rhea and I were talking about Saban. Explain that. Because these guys are all, I mean, granted, they're not. Jesus, what the hell happened there?
I had a cough.
Oh, I thought you sound like you blew out the microphone, the invisible microphone. Rhea and I were talking about this today because we were talking college football, which I learned things today make me very sad. I now do not have LSU is no longer my favorite team. But we were talking about Saban because I said, I know why I don't like Saban. I had this subconscious, like, not like for him. And I couldn't remember why. And it wasn't because of The Blind Side. It was because he used to coach LSU. And so, on The Blind Side, he did a cameo appearance, and The Blind Side didn't offer. Never mind. Anyways, so he used to coach LSU, and I think I knew. And then Rhea said that he went to coach in the NFL, and then he went back and he coached someplace else, and then ended up in Alabama. But at any rate, I just don't understand what it's faster.
It's a different game. I mean, think about this. This is what I never thought Urban Meyer would do good in the NFL. I have said it since the day he got hired, because the biggest difference, in my opinion, between college football and NFL football with players and coaches is, in college, as a head coach, you can recruit any football player in the nation, in the world. So you get to pick the players that you know will fit your system, that will fit how you want to play, and they can work. When you coach in the NFL, you don't get to always pick the player that you think is going to fit best. You got to just kind of go with who's the best player overall. So you're going to get players. You're going to get players that don't really probably mesh well with you, mesh with your system well, but they're good athletes. But in college, you can pick the players. You can be like, this guy's really good, but he's not going to fit my system. So I want this guy that's also just as good, but going to fit my system. But in the NFL, you might be like, I want this guy that fits my system, but he might get drafted or taken by another team or signed with another team. So now you're stuck with this guy who's good, but he doesn't fit your system. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're kind of noticing.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's just a faster game. There's more, everything's just going faster. So like Trevor Lawrence, I think struggling with that is how fast the game is. I mean,
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
He has not lost he didn't lose a regular season game in high school or college. So the fact that he's going 3, like we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle because I don't think he understands how to lose yet.
Well, and you said
that's a big thing about sports.
And this whole, what you're saying makes perfect sense, because I think that's why I'm so like, what in the world's wrong with him? Because he looks dumbfounded on the sidelines. He looks like he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And I know he's a good player. I mean, obviously. So I was like, it's almost like, what about this surprises you? Well, it's the pace. That makes perfect sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The NFL is just a lot more. There's a lot more movements.
I still think they're going to give him, I still don't think it'll be a year.
I don't think Urban Meyer's going to get fired. I think there's a lot of opening jobs. There's the USC job that's going to need a head coach at the end of the year. I would not be surprised with Urban Meyer going from retiring from coaching to being like an analyst on Fox Sports in college football analyst to going back to coaching. If after this year he makes the jump, A, to not coach, or B, he goes back to the college ranks to coach, because he is a fantastic college quarterback or college coach. 100% fantastic. He could change any program any day and make them a national champion just because he's good. He's a very good recruiter. He runs a very good college, but it's just when you don't get the players that fit like you. I mean, it's just a different. That's what I say. So,
no, that makes perfect sense.
So I think we're both on the same page. You know, he's not going to get fired this year unless possibly if he goes like 0-17.
But he might make a decision to change his career path. That's how in healthcare we say you're fired. Would you like to stay on this career path, or do you feel like there's another career path that would better suit you? Get out of here.
Okay, so
Okay.
the last coach that I have on this is it hot or not seat. The Chicago Bears head coach, Matt Nagy. 1-2 this year. Had an absolutely terrible game
Yeah.
plan. I don't know. Justin Fields got drafted in April. You've had 5 months to come up with a game plan.
They
And
got
you let your
spanked.
quarterback get sacked 9 times, and this is supposed to be the. Are you serious? And it's not even Justin Fields.
I know.
Mitch Trubisky.
I know.
Like how bad of a coaching? I mean,
And Mitch is doing good now, isn't he? Who did he get?
He's the backup quarterback from Buffalo. He hasn't played yet. But this is what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought he did. Okay.
Ever since that double doink field goal in the playoff game against the Eagles, Matt Nagy's coaching style has gone nowhere. He hasn't done anything. His team keeps getting worse and worse. He keeps ruining quarterbacks. It's just a problem. So personally, I think he's on a hotter seat than Joe Judge because Matt Nagy should have been fired about 3 years ago.
Yeah, but how long has he been there? 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, he's been there too long.
Well, and I know that's kind of it, but really we were blaming everything on Trubisky. Trubisky, I never say his name right. I don't really care.
Mitch the bitch.
No, that's funny. Okay. We were blaming everything on him because you kind of see the quarterback as the leader. And so when things weren't going well, you're blaming him. But I mean, I am not always on board with this. It's the coach's responsibility. I'm about a team. So we're not going to go back to that discussion, but yeah, I mean, what do you need for the Bears? Fields he got hammered on and they got spanked. I mean, it was going to be a good game. We knew that, but Jesus, it was like what, 6-26 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 6-26.
I mean, poor Fields, he's out there trying to prove himself. And you could see he was just stunned, like sitting and watching him on the sidelines. It was just like, yeah, what do you do? I don't know. I think with that one, I would say hot. Yes. I would say.
I think Matt Nagy's time is done.
Yeah, but the Bears, we don't let go of anyone. Like we always hold out for.
That's the problem. That is by far the problem. Is your GM pay should have been gone. Nagy should have been gone. And I understand that it's not always the coach's fault, but I think this is a prime example of it is the coach's fault. Because
I can see what you're saying.
Think about it. You had Mitch as your quarterback at one point. Nick Foles came and was your quarterback. You now have Andy Dalton. Like you keep going through quarterbacks that don't succeed because you don't have an offense and you don't have a system that fits the quarterbacks you have. When the Bears won the division and lost in the double doink, it's because they were getting Mitch out of the pocket and rolling him out and getting him on his feet because Mitch could run.
Okay.
But as soon as after that season, you kept Mitch in the pocket and everybody kept getting hit. That's the coach's game plan. The players don't make the game plan. The coaches do. And the head coach is the leader of all the coaches. So when your leader is making shitty game plans, I mean, just look at the Justin Fields example.
Yeah, but don't you think, okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
It's just a shit. When you can't prove the lead, when you can't execute a game plan, and when you keep putting your team for failure, I mean, Justin Fields could have got killed this weekend with that game plan.
Yeah, it was.
I
thought there was a point
Justin.
No, there was a point where I'm like, is he trying to get him hurt? Like, is he trying? Because nobody's blocking. Like, nobody's protecting him. So
the Bears had 47 total yards in that game.
40. Did they really? That's
40. They wouldn't even made it to midfield if they started at their own zero throughout the whole game.
Oh, that sucks. So I didn't even realize that. I know at one point they had 5 yards.
Yeah, listen.
Like, is that the whole first half was 5 yards? I think
40,
Dad told me.
Here, I'll give you some stats here. So 1-11 on third down. They ran 42 plays for 47 yards. So they averaged 1.1 yard per play.
Oh my gosh.
Fields was sacked 9 times for 67 yards. I mean, they had I feel for him because that's a lot of sports psychology. You got to one passing yard. You had a game plan since you drafted this quarterback in April.
I can pass more than that.
You had a game plan. You should have been practicing a game plan. Everybody knew Fields was coming in week 3 or 4. Like that was like everybody knew. Yes, that was how it was gonna roll. It was gonna be like, oh well, so? Andy, you know, you're 1-2. We're gonna try to give Fields a start. But that's not happening anymore. 1 passing yard, 47 yards overall, 46 rushing yards.
So who do you think they're going to start next week?
It's an open competition. There was reports this week that all 3 quarterbacks are up to start this upcoming weekend. So
really?
So now you're throwing Nick Foles back into the mix, the Super Bowl MVP who beat Tommy Boy in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'll be kind of fun.
That's so embarrassing, though.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I think you have to get over it.
So
I don't get embarrassed easily. So
Nagy will end up probably keeping his job to the end of the year because he'll manage to win like 7 games, 8 games, possibly. I guess they should take that back. I don't even know. It might be a Mike McCarthy situation where they fire him like week 14. But it is time for Matt Nagy to go. His seat is burning hot. There are flames coming up. His wife's got the fire extinguisher trying to put him out so that she can stay at her house for 1 more year.
She's smacking him with a towel to put out the fire.
Yeah. But
Mike McCarthy, get him out of there. He just needs to be out of the whole program. I know he's with the Dallas Cowboys, and I know they just won, and that was the only pick that I got right from last week.
Not true. You got another one.
Well, in the NFL? No. Probably in college, but not in the NFL because I picked the 49ers.
No, you picked the Saints. You picked the Saints. You got 2 NFL.
Did I? Okay. All right. Well, I watched part of that game, but I just don't know why I just like him. I don't like him. I think he's arrogant. That's why.
I think Mike McCarthy's not on a hot seat, but I think he's also one who could be up if we're going to add a 4th person here.
Yeah.
He had a crappy year last year, and granted, his quarterback went out in his first year, Dak Prescott, who is one of the best in the league right now. But
with which team?
He's with Dallas. Dak Prescott.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
I don't follow that.
But okay. I still think Jerry has said he wants a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones wants a Super Bowl, and I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to give you a Super Bowl. So
Jerry looks like a pedophile.
Mike might be on his way out at least by next year if he doesn't prove himself. He only has 6 minutes. So but
okay. All right. Well, let's not talk about him anymore because I don't want to.
No, but we're that's all the coaches I have for Is It Hot or Not? Presented by Wake Up with Will.
Did you keep track of this now?
I don't know if that was the same title I started with the segment, but it's kind of like the same titles. But I want to jump into the NFL this past weekend in the NFL because I think we saw a lot of things that we never normally see. I'm going to start with the Jacksonville Kitty Cats in that 109-yard field goal miss return for a touchdown.
That was awesome to set up to have that. I mean, they knew I guess that's a smart thing to do as a coach. You're like, the chances of them making, what was that, 61 yards? 68 yards. Okay, 68-yard field goal. I mean, they're probably like, just get somebody back there just in case. I said, oh, look, it came right to him. But then,
well, you want to know why they do that?
Like, they moved him around.
You know why you do that?
Why?
1, for the return, but 2, if that ball's coming down at the goalpost, that player is allowed to jump up and swat it like he's blocking a shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. You just don't see it because most of the time on a kick, it's just going straight up into the, it can be 70 feet above the post, but.
See him can't jump that high. That was a phenomenal play. That was fun. I loved watching the play.
What else do we see this weekend? The Baltimore Detroit game, that 60 Justin Tucker, probably one of the greatest. I won't say he's the great because Adam Vinatieri is the greatest kicker of all time, in my opinion, but probably one of the second, if not one of the greats. He's just one of the greats of kicking. 66-yard field goal to win the game.
That was
great.
It's
it off the crossbar and then bounces over.
I know, that was cool because I'm like, doink, it went the right way.
Yeah, like he could take that kick 40 times and he'd miss it 40 times or 39 times. Like
just the way the wind blows.
There was no wind. There was no wind. They were in a dome. There's no wind.
Okay. The way the fans are blowing, they're doing that.
But
The wave.
I thought we had a lot of great games.
Yeah, there were a lot of disappointing games. I mean, to see Mahomes lose like he did,
Yeah,
that
I
was
want to ask you about
disappointing.
that because now that you got Mahomes lost back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, something went on. He got taken to a hospital after the game,
Yeah.
but he's doing all right. From what I've seen and what I've heard, is he's doing all right.
I was concerned it was a heart attack because they said he didn't feel well after. So he felt ill. And, and sometimes with
Yeah,
men, what they get is nauseous. You just like get flu-like symptoms.
but
So
you talked
he's a
about
big
this.
boy.
You
So
talked about this after the what game? The Baltimore Chiefs game. But I want to ask you it now after seeing obviously Mahomes lose again. Do you think that
I'm going to
Mahomes
cry.
dances around too much and doesn't and tries to force things and just chuck a ball up in the air and hope his guys
110%,
instead of
110%.
just playing
I
regular,
think
like
I
stay in the
think
pocket
what's
football?
happening right now. So I told Dad, I said, first of all, there's some other things to take in. So keep that thought, but you have to think about he's having a baby and he's getting married. So I'm sorry, personal things play into work, and this is the work. This is their job.
Mm.
Personal things play into work all the time. So I don't think he has as clear a mind as he did in the past, and that's not bad. That's just life. Okay, so he's got to learn to balance that. Not balance. You create harmony. No
Yeah,
such thing as balance. But then I think he has a lot of pressure because he was so outstanding, like his first years out there, that he has that in his mind that he has to be to that level. And the more you stress yourself to get to that level, he's not, that stress for him isn't becoming eustress. Good stress is distress. He's making bad plays. I mean, he's out of that pocket. He's running all over. He looks like a kid stealing candy sometimes. He's just tossing it away. It's like when you kids were little, you take something out of the one, you toss it to the side, like, I don't take it. He's not thinking. So whose fault is that? Is that the coaches or is that his?
that's him.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'll
That's
blame
not.
the coach.
I don't think Andy Reid's coming in and being like, Pat, we're gonna have you snap the ball, stay here for a couple of seconds, run around like a chicken with your head cut off, and just chuck a ball deep.
Just throw it anywhere. See if you can hit the cameraman on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, and that's really disappointing because somebody's got to sit down and say, okay, what's going on? And it can't be sit down, study these plays, get it right. Somebody has to go deeper and say what's going on in your head because there's something going on. He's not the same as he was
and I agree.
last year.
Mahomes, he's in his fourth year starting, been to two Super Bowls, one and
Mhm.
one of those. He's a great quarterback, and I think like you
Yeah.
touched on this a little bit. Is he's been able to do this in the past, um, because no one ever saw it before. No one saw a guy like the only guy that I can really think of that gets out of the pocket and kind of throws it like crazy a little bit is Aaron Rodgers, but he doesn't.
Oh, Karen Favre did it. Favre
Okay,
used to do it.
but Favre did it, but no one does it like Mahomes. Mahomes will
Yeah.
run right, throw it sidearm all the way left,
Yeah.
like no one
But is
saw
it
it.
his
No one saw it
receiver?
happen. No one saw it happen when he
Mhm.
started doing it. But it's been 4 years of doing it. Defense is changing. Defense plan for that. I think the defenses
Mhm.
are like, hey, stick with the receivers. Keep Mahomes in front of you. He's not. He's gonna still look for the big play. But if he takes off for 4 yards, it's gonna be whatever. But he wants to
Mhm.
throw, so
That's
keep
true.
kind of and just as soon as he chucks it, just knock the ball down like it's a jump. Like you're not gonna hit a three on a receiver who has three guys on him every time. Like I think he
Yeah.
just had a
No, I
lot of
hear what you're
success
saying.
right away with doing it. So he's gotten used to it. I still think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Um,
Mhm.
I'd
Yeah, I
put
think
him third in the NFL right now in best quarterbacks.
who'd you
Um,
put number one?
Tom Brady.
You would. Okay.
Um, I think Aaron Rodgers is
Oh.
more. I think Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tommy Boy.
What?
Okay, don't even act. Don't even act like that's like you would disagree with me on that question.
100 times over, but okay. We won't talk about that right
Tom
now.
Brady is the most successful quarterback in all time, but he is
Right.
definitely not the most talented.
You don't think so?
Go watch his 40-yard dash video from the
Oh,
combine.
okay. That's not. You can't bring it. Go watch him square dance. That's
But
not the same.
so I think but I think defenses are catching on a little bit to the game plan. And I mean, it's the same thing you see with every quarterback. You just defense, you can't.
I hope it's not I hope somebody sits down and talks to him.
But yeah. So Brady did not look great. The Buccaneers kind of played like the Succaneers this week. The Rams look good. The next question I want to ask you. So Denver, the Broncos, 3-0 on the years. They just beat the Jets 26-0. Teddy Bridgewater's their quarterback. So they're 3-0. Great start to the year. The problem is, are the Broncos as good as the record says? Because the 3 teams they have played to start the year have a combined record of 0-9. So does that 3-0 record really show that the Broncos are good, or that they just beat really bad teams?
No, I think it's that. I think that they're just beating teams that are not that good. Because who have they played? Did they play? They played the Jets.
The Jacksonville, the Giants, and the Jets.
Yeah. But see, I don't think the Broncos have been good since Peyton left.
So they haven't. They haven't been good since Peyton left.
Right. So I don't
won a Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, I forget that the Broncos are around. But there's a lot of teams that I forget are around.
Yeah.
I got my big ones I stick with. But that's because I don't think about them as a winning team. I think about them as a team you play. Like those are the teams you go for the cheap tickets. You want to go to a game and not pay a lot? Find out if the Broncos are playing. Yeah. Find out if the Dolphins are playing. Find out if the Lions are coming to town. Go get some tickets. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
The Bengals. How about the Bengals?
Yeah.
Aunt Reese said that she's like, yeah, well, I saw your Bears lost to the Bengals. I said, well, what game were you watching? Because they played the Browns.
Yeah, your Bears.
The Bengals, forget their team.
The Bears played the Bengals week 2 and beat them. So, Aunt Reese, are you watching the NFL? What games are you watching? No, I think before Denver can start saying that they're like a good team, they got to beat somebody that actually has a winning in the win column.
Yeah, they got to play some of the big dogs. Like they got to play Green Bay or 49ers or Dallas.
The Chiefs, they just got to play. They got to really play. They got to play the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders. Like play a team in your division. We'll see how you do. They beat them. I think it's legit, but I think it's just it's a struggle.
The Raiders are doing good.
There's nothing wrong with being 3-0 because you beat teams you should beat. Like at the end of the day, props to them for beating the teams they need to beat. Like you should beat those 3. You can't. I'm not gonna take back. Be like, you guys aren't that good, but because you beat these teams. No, you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Which good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And that's
a win's a win. So they got it.
They're a good team. They can beat the teams, but I want to see them against a better opponent before I start saying the Broncos could really be something because they could still end up 6-11. Like,
I hear you there. Don't put money on them yet.
No, exactly. But
bet on the over. The over under.
And the last game that I want to talk about. This team.
I think my connection's getting bad.
This team went down by a point with 37 seconds left, and the most talented quarterback in the NFL decided, you know what?
What was his 40? What was his 40?
Better than Tom Brady. I am invested in this team. I am a Green Bay Packer all the way. And Karen's sister, Aaron Rodgers.
That would be her brother, not her sister.
Karen's
Get
brother.
Your pronouns right.
Karen's brother, Aaron Rodgers, decided, you know what? I've been leading the team all day. I'm going to take him down the field and let Mason Crosby win the game for us. Aaron Rodgers, beautiful job. Proud of you. Thank you.
He did a good job.
Thank you for everything you did for the state of Wisconsin this weekend, because a loss on that Sunday night would have been just another typical Packers loss, because you got up 17-0, then got down, let them score a touchdown at the end of the half, which should not have counted. That was intentional grounding, but the refs had their blinders on the whole game.
Well, it's just like the Raiders or the Ravens.
Yeah, with the delay of game.
Yeah.
I mean, the
that
refs,
was an obvious delay of game, but
whoever the officiating crew in the Packers 49ers game should never be able to officiate. They missed a huge targeting penalty on Devontae Adams that knocked him cold. I didn't see that. Straight helmet to helmet. Devontae, obviously, he woke back up.
Were they using the crown?
Yeah, he went straight in. If this was the guy's head and this was Devontae's head, Devontae was running like this, the guy dove in.
Really? They can't do that. That's
Devontae,
not good. I mean,
Devontae had to go to the back to the tent, had checked, passed the concussion test, was out 3 plays later, had 2 big catches on game-winning drive. But Aaron Rodgers, once again, the magical Rodgers, 37 seconds is not enough, or is enough time for him to go get that field goal. So I just think that was impressive.
It was a fun game.
Yeah.
But I still don't like Karen.
Well, that's fine. You're a Bears fan. You're not supposed to
like
him.
Yeah, but I like the Packers. I don't like Karen. He's not loyal to the team. She's not. She's not loyal to Green Bay. She's loyal to football because she's getting a paycheck.
Hey, but I don't really care.
Win's a win.
If he's loyal to Green Bay, if he's on his knees kissing Vince Lombardi's statue, I really don't care. He just came back. Got a win with 37 seconds left. A win's a win. We're 2-1. We're leading the division. That's all that matters to me is him bringing me a Super Bowl, because the Bucks win it, the Brewers win it, and the Packers win it. I could care less at where he goes after this year. But he's coming back to Green Bay.
He'll go to Hawaii.
He's coming to Green Bay. He's staying in Green Bay, because after he wins this, people are going to be like, hey, Brian Gutekunst, whatever the hell his name is, pay this stupid man. How much of an idiot are you?
$43 million.
I would give him everything I got.
More money.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you owe me $475.
Well, then he can have everything but $475.
No way. $43 million. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I want to know what he's doing with that money. I want to know how he's using that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, then look it up and to come back to us next. I don't care. How's Tommy Boy? How's Tommy Boy using his money down there in South Beach?
Well, he goes and he feeds the fish.
Oh,
he feeds the fish.
He's getting shit based on a yacht with throwing around the trophy. What is he doing?
He's being a little reckless there.
Him and Giselle.
A little reckless. Giselle. I like their new commercial. Oh my God! Did you see Baker's new commercial?
No,
he's having a rummage sale. Oh, you gotta see it. It's hilarious. He's having a rummage sale. His wife's putting out like his old he said something about like, honey, that's Big Ten stuff that goes in the front or whatever. Did he play for the Big Ten? I don't know.
He played for the Big 12.
I don't. Maybe he said Big 12 or maybe
I'll just watch the commercial.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. That's funny. It's funny. But I still like Baker because of that. Okay, anyways. I know they had a good win. Yay, Packers.
Go Pack, go.
I'm in Wisconsin. I think it's good. I like the Packers. I mean, I'm a Bears fan. I just don't like Karen's attitude.
Yeah, well,
she needs an adjustment, girlfriend.
That's fine. You don't have to. I'll take a win over it with it. I'll take a snotty guy with an attitude over a loss any day of the week.
Wisconsin's just not snotty people. We're nice Midwesterners.
You can't.
That's fine.
Yeah,
we are. Yeah, we are. We're nice. We wave each other through stop signs. Come on.
But all right.
We honk and say hi.
To end this beautiful show today, we're gonna do what we don't do at all. Actually, we do it every week, but what we don't do great, and that is proven by our record last week. And we're gonna make some picks in this college football NFL week.
All right.
I have our records from last week. It's kind of embarrassing. Mom,
wait.
What do you think? How do you think?
I got to call timeout. No, okay. I don't think I did well at all. But I have to tell you that I'm no longer an LSU fan because the coach, Aunt Ree, told me that the coach, she goes, Coach O, he's got to go. Yeah. I didn't realize he was such a hoodlum. Like, he's not a very good man anymore. I like
him. Tigers.
Go Tigers. No, so I say get him out of there. He has some questionable morals, and so that really bothers me. I didn't know that. He was on the
blind side too.
Yeah, I know. But I used to like the team. I don't like it when their leader has questionable morals. So he's out. So I got to find a new team that I really like.
Okay.
See, I just like football that I can just be okay. I'm done with. Actually, I'm a little sad, but because his wife had an ileostomy bag like I did, so I watched her whole documentary, and he was so supportive of everything. So when I watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to see she's normal and she went through life, and it's all, she was able to do her every day, and it got reversed. Everything worked out. So I really used that as an inspiration. So I'm really sad that he divorced her, and now he's like running around with 20-year-olds. That's almost gross, but oh well, teach their own, right?
Yeah. Hey,
that's his secret sauce. Okay.
But back to picks after weeks. Understand why we'll never have an LSU game up for a game picks of the week because Mom's not a fan of them. Or we'll just put them up when they're supposed to win, so we destroy destroy the.
It's not like I have a winning streak, so I wouldn't be too upset.
2-8 last week, Mom. 2-8. Not a great week out of 10 picks, but your son didn't do great, but he did do better than you. 3-7 on the week. Let's go. 3 out of 7. Not a great week picking sports at all. Great week in the betting world, though. For me, I'm back. Rough week 2. Week 3, I felt like I was a reborn kid.
When are you going to pay for a haircut then if you got money?
When I don't need one. I don't need a haircut. I'm letting the golden flocks grow. But
are you? You're going to be like the Jacksonville Kitty Cat? Sunshine.
But we got some games to pick this week. We're going to start in the college.
No, can we first talk about the Badger Notre Dame game? How embarrassing that was.
We'll talk about it when we get to the Badger pick today.
Okay, fine.
We'll just touch on it because that was embarrassing. But we're going to start with Arkansas versus Georgia. That is a top 10 ranked matchup. Arkansas is going number 8 going into Georgia. But currently, Arkansas is 18.5-point underdogs.
Really? That much?
In a top, yeah, I thought it was crazy too for a top 10 matchup.
That's messed up. I'm doing Georgia because I don't like Arkansas.
Well, we are on the same page.
Now we've talked about them.
I will take Georgia to win at home. I do not think they will cover the 3 touchdown spread that they have. I think that's crazy. Arkansas is not a great football school, not a great football program, but they have looked good this year. But I still think they lose probably by 15, but not 18.5. We're gonna jump to the next game, which is a Big Ten matchup. All the college picks this week are going to be top 25 matchups, and this is another one coming out from Camp Randall. The Michigan Wolverines travel there to take on the Badgers after the Badgers just got embarrassed. Embarrassed. In a game in the fourth quarter, 10-10 going in the fourth quarter, 3 pick sixes was just brutal.
Terrible.
Great day to bet against
the stands emptied out like the fourth quarter. Halfway through the fourth quarter, you looked at the back where all the Badger fans were at down at Soldier Field, and it was like there's nobody there. Well, I'm going to go with the Badgers because I hate Michigan and I like the Badgers. I have to go with my home states.
Yeah, the Badgers are a 2.5-point favorite, but let me tell you.
Okay.
Think the Badgers are.
The Badgers?
Well, the Badgers, the Wisconsin Badgers are a good football team when they play at home because Camp Randall, for anybody who's not been there, it's a great football atmosphere. Wisconsin fans are the most dedicated fans in Wisconsin. They're very dedicated to their sport. I can't say they're the most dedicated fans in football because I don't believe that. As an Iowa fan,
you can say they're the most dedicated fans in Dane County. You could have put it there because you had trouble saying Wisconsin too. You were like, I don't know about that. They're the most dedicated fans within Madison city limits.
Yeah, they're the most dedicated fans at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. But Camp Randall is definitely an electric place and not an easy place to go in and win. With that being said, I watched Michigan in that first half against Rutgers. They looked good. The second half, they looked terrible. But I can't find myself to pick the Wisconsin Badgers to win a football game until they figure out an offense. They looked terrible. Well, they looked terrible against Notre Dame. They've looked terrible against Penn State. They haven't looked good in a football game yet this year, and it's tough to talk about. Yeah. And you will definitely probably hear more about this game on the DDT podcast show, which is my buddy David and Trevor's podcast, who they talk sports. Not as good as me and my mom do, but they're getting a shout out because they give us shout outs. I'm giving them a shout out because what they do is great, even though, they do forget some important facts when talking about my Hawkeyes, but
we'll forgive them this time.
Yeah, they do a great job. But David and Dane are both Wisconsin fans, but I think they would agree with me. It's hard to pick the Badgers to win a football game until you look and try to figure out their offense. I mean, Graham Mertz threw his first touchdown of the year against Notre Dame. That's 3 games in.
I don't know.
In your 4th game, you found a touchdown?
I know. I hate Michigan though, so I will always go against Michigan. So you're going to go with Michigan, I take it.
I do.
That long clause speech was because they're going.
I'm taking the Wolverines to go and beat the Badgers in Camp Randall. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I just can't do it. I'm doing the Badgers. I will always.
Wisconsin fans are already pissed off from last week. They're like, well, this Badgers don't have a good running game. Their quarterback's not good because he doesn't fit the system.
Yeah, he's not good.
That's what it comes down to. But Going to our next game that we're picking, Cincinnati travels to Notre Dame.
Oh, Cincinnati. I don't like Notre Dame.
This is 7 versus 10. So Cincinnati comes in ranked higher than Notre Dame. But if this game,
I got a tickle in my nose. Hold on. Oh, okay.
So you're taking Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to go with Notre Dame. I never go with Notre Dame. There are teams I will never go with. They're Michigan
State.
Notre Dame. Well, I know Michigan State.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
This one's tough for me because I think Cincinnati is the better football team by far.
Okay.
I like Cincinnati. I like them a lot. Luke Fickell's done a great job at Cincinnati, trying to make them a well-known team and compete. And he understands that you got to go on these big road games to win, to have a shot at making the college football. That's why he went to Indiana and won. I think he goes to South Bend and he doesn't pull off the win. If this game was played anywhere else, I would take the Bearcats of Cincinnati all day, every way. But you're playing in Notre Dame in front of their fans, and they're going to be pumped up after a 41-10 ass whooping of the Wisconsin Badgers. I just think.
Weren't they expected to win against the Badgers? Like, they shouldn't be pumped out. They
were 6.5 point underdogs. That's why we put a bunch of money on it.
That's right.
And that was the easiest pick of the game.
Right. That's why we bet a whole bunch of money on it.
We put a shit ton of money on it.
Okay, so you're saying Notre Dame.
I just think if this game was played anywhere else, it'd be Cincinnati. But because it's played in Notre Dame, I don't think Cincinnati can come in on the road in South Bend and pull it up. So, yes, I am taking the Fighting Irish, even though I think they're a terrible football team.
Now, I'll tell you, sometime Dad was saying that sometime we're going to go down there when he's at one of his customers. We're going to go to the campus. We're going to go around there. He's like, it's beautiful. It's like nothing you've ever seen. He's like the nostalgia of it. And he goes, I know you don't like Notre Dame football, but he goes, you'll go down there. He goes, you'll be in love with the area, the atmosphere. He goes, we'll go to, just visit some of the historical
coaches. Yeah. So
go ahead.
In the next game, another top 15 matchup, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin travels to Tuscaloosa to take on the Roll Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide, and Nick Saban. Who are you taking?
Who's the team again?
Ole Miss.
You got me all stirred up about Nick Saban. Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss all day long and twice on Sundays.
Yeah,
suck it.
This is why your record is bad.
They're not going to win this one. They got to lose eventually.
No, I don't think they will. But Nick Saban has owned his former coordinators and former coaches that were on his staff. Lane Kiffin is one of them. And I think that they roll over Ole Miss this week because Alabama's Alabama and they're playing at home. So I'm never going to take Alabama if they're not playing at home. So I'm taking Alabama. We're going to jump over to the Big 12. Baylor versus Oklahoma State. You probably know absolutely nothing about these teams.
Well, Oklahoma State, just because I knew they had a team. I know Baylor too. So I usually do Baylor in basketball. We're having March Madness. So now I'm going to do Oklahoma State. Don't know anything about the teams.
Yeah, I don't know much about them either, other than Oklahoma State's in Stillwater, and they're Oklahoma State. They're the Cowboys, and Baylor's the Bears. And Baylor, I don't know, somewhere in Texas. They beat Iowa State 31-28. But with that being said,
backwards.
I will still
Oklahoma State's the Cowboys, and Baylor's the Bears, and Baylor's in Texas. Shouldn't Baylor be the Cowboys in Texas?
Shouldn't Oklahoma State be the Cowboys in Oklahoma?
Well, I guess. Couldn't they have
two? Oklahoma.
That's not even right. Oh, you're fired.
But I'm taking the Cowboys of Oklahoma State as well this week. So that's our college picks for the day. Then we're going to jump over to the NFL. We're starting off with the team of your liking. The Chicago Bears travel to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions.
They better beat the big kitty cats. They better.
Taking the Bears?
They better. Yeah. I mean, seriously. If the Lions beat them, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So
I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, then the coach should be fired.
Well, with how I think it's going to happen, he should be fired then after this week if we're taking your prediction, because I think Detroit's been on the end of a lot of unfortunate events. They should have won and beat the Ravens, but a missed call and a delay of game, and then a 66-yard field goal. They're just not getting the bounces to go their way, and I think they finally get a bounce to go their way this week. Beat Chicago at home, because I don't think the Bears don't know who their starting quarterback is right now. The game plan's gonna. I mean,
yeah, but that's the good thing because every single one of those quarterbacks is going to have to prove themselves.
Yeah, but it's Tuesday. You play on Sunday. This is a thing that you would do in the beginning of August, not in week 4 of the NFL season.
Well, it's all about maturing. It's all about maturing a team.
I think the Lions get the first win, pick up the home win against the Chicago Bears.
Terrible.
Now on to the next game. Indianapolis Colts are looking for their first win as they travel down to Miami to play the Dolphins.
Colts. Won't pick Miami.
I'm in the same boat. I think the Colts get their first win. Jacoby Brissett, he looked good. The Dolphins barely lost that game. They should have won that game against the Raiders, but couldn't pull it out in overtime. Great game.
I'm glad the Raiders won. The Raiders looked great. Gruden looks he's awesome. And I'll tell you, I haven't thought about the Miami Fish since Dan Marino was quarterback, and then they had the Ace Ventura movie. So I forget they're all down there.
But I'm taking the Colts too. I think the Colts finally pick up a victory this weekend. Cool. The battle of a couple 3-0 teams this weekend. The Arizona Cardinals travel to the Los Angeles Rams in an NFC West matchup.
I'm going to do Cardinals. The Rams have been doing pretty good, right?
Yeah.
They got stupid uniforms though now. I don't like their uniforms, so I'm going to pick the Cardinals.
I'm going the opposite. I like Matthew Stafford, and I like the Rams at home. That defense looked really good against Tommy Boy and the Buccaneers this past weekend, and I think they pick up another win at home. So I'm going Rams all day.
Okay.
The big game this upcoming week is taking place exactly where you got that shirt, out in the New England area of Boston.
But not where they actually make the beer, so everybody knows. Yes. It's made in Pennsylvania. Okay, go ahead. Boston.
But the game that you will see promos all day, every day for the next 5 days.
It's gonna be awesome.
Brady's return to New England. Buccaneers versus Patriots. Who do you have?
Cool. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's who I think is going to win. I think Tom's going to come in there with something to prove, especially now that you told me him and Billy were not, BFFs. So even though, and I think that the Patriots quarterback's going to have something to prove too. The only thing I think that's the disadvantage is they know how Tom plays. That they know how Tom plays. So they're going to be setting, any good coach be like, he's going to have these plays. He's going to throw to Gronk. He's going to do this. So hopefully Tommy's working with his team to come up with some little trick plays, something in his back pocket that he can pull out because they're going to have it. But I think he wins. Now, here's the big question. Will he get cheered or booed when he enters the stadium?
He's going to get booed like a mother.
No, I say they're going to cheer. I say they're going to I think they're going to stand. I think it's going to be.
You want to put a little friendly rate wager on if he gets booed or cheered?
Got $2 to my name.
I'll put $2 on it right now.
$2.
$2 that he gets booed on Sunday night.
$2. And I got to think. Next time we go to the Brewers game, you get the parking.
Deal.
No, wait. No. I'm calling timeout. We always split that. Next time we go to the Brewers game, you get the beer. I always end up buying the beer.
You're the only one that drinks beer.
Well, I bought
I'm not buying you your drink. I'm not buying you your drinks. No. Otherwise, we're drinking water.
Oh, that's not right.
I'm not paying $12 for a beer.
You're not going to buy me a beer in there. Buy beer to tailgate.
Oh, I'll buy that.
I had to buy. Okay.
Okay, that's a deal.
Okay, there you go.
So loser pays. Yeah, I thought you were telling me I was going to go start buying you.
Loser buys the tailgate drinks.
Deal.
Okay.
Everybody who listens to this, jump on this bet right now because
Mom could buy a lot of drinks. My beer was only $11. I think
that's what I said.
Yours was $14.
$15.50 for my margarita.
Well, that's because I gave her a tip because I'm a nice person.
That was dumb.
Well, I know all she had to do was like this.
Yeah, she
because
twisted
it
a
was,
knob.
what did you get again? A strawberry daiquiri or
The
something?
strawberry margarita, Mom.
You thought we were on a beach somewhere
It
hot? We were
tasted
at
good. A
Miller
lot of
Park.
fun. Leave me alone. Was a great time. But
Okay,
yeah.
can I tell a funny story? Okay, you go
No,
ahead. You
we
tell.
gotta still do our picks first. We got one
Okay.
game. I'm taking the Buccaneers as well. I think the
Okay.
Patriots get unlucky here because Tommy's coming in after a loss, so he's gonna come out with something to prove extremely. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if he wins like 45-14 this week
I bet you
and
he's
walks out
doing.
just doing flipping the bird to good old Bill and
You
everybody. Be
think
like,
so? I don't think he'll flip the bird. I think he'll cry. He's
no,
a very emotional man. But I think this week he's doing like negative carbs. Like you can do zero. He's doing like negative carbs. He's probably got so much organic food in him. He's gonna
yeah.
have to take fiber, some kind of binding. He's gonna be
All right. The
all right.
last
Tommy boy.
the last game before you can tell your story. Las Vegas Raiders go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Raiders. I'm gonna go with Grubin. I think he's great. I like him as a coach. I loved him as a commentator. So I think he's phenomenal. I think he has a really good team he's put together.
Interesting pick. Interesting pick. I'm going the exact opposite route of you, in my opinion.
Why?
In my
You
opinion,
always are doing
in
opposite.
it, listen. In my opinion, I think the Raiders. They're 3-0. They should be 1-2. They got lucky against Lamar Jackson week one, winning overtime, and they got lucky against the Dolphins last week and winning
But a
overtime.
win's a win.
I'm not saying a win's not a win, but I don't believe that it was a good win. And I think the Chargers coming off just going to Kansas City and beating Patrick Mahomes in his hometown. Justin Herbert is looking good. That 2-1 team. The only loss they have is against the Cowgirls on that last in that field goal. I think they come in at home and they look great, even though Chargers fans are non-existent. And that probably will be a very Raider-packed stadium. I'm still going to take Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Who are they now? They're not the San Diego Chargers anymore. They're Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, they share a stadium with the Rams. LAC and LAR.
They share it with the Rams?
Yeah, they share a stadium.
That's so stupid. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. With all the money in the NFL, they can't have their. Why doesn't California give another state a team? Idaho. Idaho has nothing. Like, give Idaho a team.
Do you know how many the Jets and the Giants share a stadium?
Do they really?
Yeah, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
I had no idea they shared it.
This is how messed up those teams are. They don't even play in New York and call themselves the New York teams. They don't even play. They play in New Jersey.
In Jersey. But I didn't know that.
Okay.
I'll be a monkey's uncle.
As we got through our picks and we're wrapping up the show, let's hear this story if you want to tell it quick.
Well, it was funny at the time. It's not that funny now.
Well, what's the story? And I'll try to make it funny again.
Nope, I can't.
All right. Well,
it's a cooking story. It was Dad was cooking tonight, and he's made meatloaf for the first time ever. Like he's never made meatloaf in his life. I thought he meant he's never made meatloaf. I don't know, not in his, but like out of a recipe or something. He's like, no, in my life I've never made meatloaf. But meatloaf is like a log. Like you make a log, you put in I turn around. I gave Dad a baking sheet. I love him because he does good. He's always helping. He made dinner tonight. It was in a cake pan. He made meat cake. It wasn't meatloaf. Meat. It was like meat brownies. I said, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "It's meatloaf." They said to put it in a pan. You mold it to the pan. I'm like, "What in the world are you reading? You make a loaf." He's like, he goes, "Well, they're using a bread pan." I said, "Well, that's why it's molded in a bread pan, because you flip it and then it's a loaf, hence meatloaf." He had it in the brownie pan, like it was all flat. And I'm like, "What? We're gonna be cutting it out like brownies in little squares, serving it up." Oh, that was my funny story. Nobody else gives a rip about it, but I had to tell it because I was laughing off and on throughout this. I was thinking about that because I turned around and just packed down meat.
You want to know what even be funnier?
What?
If while cooking this meatloaf, he turned around and went, "Ma, meatloaf, ma, meatloaf." From the great quotes from Will Ferrell and Wedding Crashers.
What's she doing in there?
What's she doing back there?
What's
she doing back there?
What's she doing back there?
Sadly, we have ran out of time again on this wonderful show of Wake Up with Will, Mom's Edition. Even though it's Wake Up with Will with Mom, I like to say, but it's Wake Up.
No, it's Mom's Edition. That's what it was. We agreed upon.
No, it's Mom Edition because there's not multiple moms I have on here.
Oh yeah, yeah, and there's no guest callers. Aunt Ree said she was going to call you today during it to get on, and I said, ain't happening. Not gonna happen.
No guests, I guess, are allowed. That sucks because I think I have some people that would be a lot of fun to be on. We'll have to see
if there's guests allowed on there. We might take a Q&A.
Yeah,
like one Q&A.
Comment, subscribe, like, retweet, and tell me why you think you'd be a good guest on our show, and we'll put you into consideration.
Add to my Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yes, but for the Wake Up Will, I'm Will. That's my mother over on that side of the screen.
Yeah,
and we're happy to bring you a wonderful sports talk show this wonderful, beautiful morning. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Goodbye.